So one of the first things an entrepreneur looks at is the structure of their business.
Yeah.
So we've got probably two main things, I would say, maybe being a sole trader and having a limited company.
Yeah.
What are the benefits to each of those?
Right, okay. It really depends on the size and nature of the business, and I think often people start off as sole traders and they grow into a limited company when they want to grow a little bit more and when they find that their business is turning over a bit more money as well. Most sole traders start off quite small, often in a garage or bedroom at home maybe, or a very small office or something like that, and the reason they do that is because it's not as onerous as having a limited company. There aren't as many obligations in terms of accounting, and also you can make your day-to-day decisions quite quickly and easily. You're also in control of all the profits of your business as well. So it means that you don't have to account to any shareholders, and it also means that you can run things the way that you want, and it's often a more efficient way of doing things. Sole traders also don't have to report to anybody else, and they're just more free to run the business the way they want.
When you say anybody else, who do you mean?
People like shareholders, they don't have to submit accounts and so on, which leads me to another point, that you can keep your affairs a bit more private. Because often as a limited company, you've got to have your accounts and they'll probably be published at Companies House and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of small startups don't like that. And in fact, a lot of bigger businesses don't like that either. So that's certainly an advantage. But moving forward to limited companies, there are advantages there as well. So for example, you've got the protection of that limited company. So if things do go wrong, your personal assets often aren't at risk. They can be in situations where you're found to be negligent and so on, but it means that you've got that protection of the incorporation of the company.
When you say not at risk, so if for example you had a property and you'd gone out and you'd created this business and it didn't go very well, your property is still stable.
Well, I think the key thing to remember here is that you and your business are completely separate entities if you've got a limited company or you've gone into a partnership or something like that. But if you're a sole trader, you are effectively that business. So if something goes wrong, you're at risk. But if something goes right, you've done well for yourself as well. But a legal entity will always remain separate. So your business and you are two different things. So the business may borrow some money, the business might owe someone money, or the business might make money, but at the end of the day, you will always be a director of that business. So that's the main thing to remember here.
And what's the risk of being a sole trader? There must be some disadvantages, I
Well,
assume.
yeah, I think we've just touched upon one of them, and it's things like you leave yourself exposed. So, for example, if something does go wrong, you will be personally liable for debts and so on.
Okay. And the risk for limited companies, is there one?
I think the limited companies offer more sort of protection. So the risk is minimised to some extent if you've got the limited company in place. But then you've got the burden of accounting records and all that sort of stuff too.
So if someone came to you and they were just thinking, I really want to start this new business, I don't really know what I'm doing yet, would you say to them start as a sole trader, or would you say go straight away to the kind of limited company option?
Well, it's important to remember that every business has its own requirements. So sometimes people will start off as a limited company because of their industry. And it also adds a bit of presence as well sometimes. So from a non-legal perspective, sometimes people like to deal with a limited company because it might indicate they've got some sort of track record or that they are a business as opposed to a one-man band. So it creates an impression as well. But that's not really a legal sort of thing. So to answer your question, I know this isn't probably the answer you're looking for, but it will really depend on the sort of business.
Fine.